hiring and firing is probably the thing that I think every startup sucks at. And
is it the lack of being willing to fire, or the just hiring poorly?
I think it's more the hiring poorly.
Yeah.
And like the thing is that, you can look at somebody's qualifications in many, many different ways, and you can maybe look at their background as a way of trying to judge it. But like a startup is uncertain by nature, right? Comes with all kinds of risks and uncertainties. And, imagine that you joined us in 2022 and you were like, hey, I'm all about talking to software developers. And then early 2023, we're like, hey guys, that's not working.
We've changed gears.
Yeah, then what, right? And so like, actually the number one characteristic I think has got to be flexibility and like the intellectual and emotional curiosity that goes along with that. Like you have to be not only willing to make the change, but excited about like learning and then going and doing what it is that needs to change. So that is very, very hard to judge from somebody's CV or from an interview process. We could sit down and have 10 conversations over the course of 2 weeks, but that's very different from going through a process of working with an early set of customers and then they tell you that everything you're doing is wrong. Not that that's what happened to us, but like, yeah.
So based on that, like what's your philosophy now? Because kind of you have the awareness.
Yep.
But how you convert it into actions?
Internally or with customers?
Internally.
Yeah.
Hiring team.
Yeah. I think we've gotten a little bit tighter on our own interview process, and we've also raised the bar on what it takes to hire somebody, which is a trade-off because that also means your hiring is slower. And sometimes if you need to bring somebody in quickly, like that means that everybody else has to pick up an extra 5%, 10% in the short term.
It's going to take you time to find somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no perfect answer, right?
No.
There are different strategies from my point of view. One is getting the leader, it can be a team leader or the rest, and then he brings the people so they are kind of loyal to him, or he bring his crew from previous place. Another set of strategies, bringing kind of tech lead that navigate the technology.
Yeah.
So we just need another management component.
Yeah.
That gonna match each other afterwards, and the one is gonna be the manager of the factory, and the second one is gonna be managing the technology and the rest. I don't know. What's your take on that?
I'm not sure that I have a take on that. Like I understand both strategies. I only know kind of how we played it out. I'm sure we could have done a few things better at various steps along the way. It's maybe also not the thing that I focus like most of my time on trying to solve for at this point. Like, I think we've gotten to a point, and it's been, it's taken us a little while to get there, but we've gotten to the point where everybody who's on board is pretty committed to what we're doing and is all working together and moving in the right direction. Wasn't always that way. Like, took some time to get there, and, we had a few people who joined the team that didn't end up being a fit, either from their perspective or ours, and you end up having to go through that. And as Michael said, there's no like perfect way to do it. I think lots of people, if you could find a silver bullet for how to place the right people in a startup and structure teams correctly, I mean, that's like $1 billion company on its own.
And I do think and I'm sure I don't know what you modeled your process over. I would say besides leadership principles, which I think is a good thing to channel from AWS, I think the way they organize field teams is pretty good. It keeps evolving. I think better than I think the hiring process was also pretty good. Do you model it after that a little bit since you've been there? Is it a loop? Is it something like that? Or?
We do actually a little bit. We do role play scenarios for anybody customer facing. So some of those, exactly some of those same practices from the AWS days we've brought into the interview process over there. On the kind of, let's say, like the internal team structure, I mean, look, we're still a small company, right? We're like 11, 12 people. Yeah. So we might still be a 2-pizza company, right? Depending on how big the pizzas are.
Pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know that we've gotten to a scale or a point where we've had to think about kind of, let's say, the structuring of various teams internally. We definitely model on open communication internally and as much transparency as possible, recognizing that 100% is not always possible.